I would like for us to give our opinion on the question, do plants grow best in green light, red light, blue light, white light? First of all, before we say anything else, why did I list green light, red light, and blue light along with white light? Why those three colors?
Because those three colors make up white light.
Okay, and we call them the what colors?
Primary.
The primary colors of light, so they all go together to make up white light. So who has an opinion about which color light plants would grow in best? Who says green light? Nobody thinks green light. Why do you think if they wouldn't grow well in green light?
Because it'll reflect the green light and it won't get mixed.
Okay, we see plants as what color?
Green.
Okay, a lot of people think that because chlorophyll is green, that it uses green light, but in essence, it actually reflects the green light, right? Okay, what about just red light or just blue light? What does it do to those colors of light? Absorbs it, okay. So how many of you think white light would be best? Okay, why white light as opposed to one of these other two?
Because
You'll be absorbing more instead of just one light. You'll be absorbing two lights.
All right, you'll be absorbing both of those colors. Anything else you wanted to add to that? Okay. All right, so you would be absorbing both of those. So that leads us to, would it grow just as well in a mixture of these two as just white light? What do you think, Trevor?
Possibly, since it's going to reflect green light anyway.
All right, it's using which two colors of light? The plant's using which two colors of light to perform photosynthesis? The red and the blue. Okay, and so that brings us to what do we get? Do we see, when we mix red and blue light, do we see red light and blue light? What do we see when we mix those?
Magenta.
Okay, so red light plus blue light gives us magenta light. Okay, and if we have, moving on, because probably there wouldn't be much difference in magenta and white, but you're very correct in that green light would cause the plant to eventually die, and that either one of these would cause the plant not to absorb some of the light that it needed for photosynthesis. Okay? What would happen if we mixed blue and green light?
cyan.
Okay? Okay, and then the last combination would be red plus green. Okay, so what would happen if we had yellow and took away green?
It would just be red.
You would see it as red, okay? And if you had cyan and took away blue, you would just see green. Okay, so our activity today is actually not about mixing light so much as it is taking something away. If we had white light, what color would we need to take away to get magenta? Green. And if we had white light, what color would we need to take away to get yellow? Blue. Okay. And so our lesson or our activity today is actually on shadows. What happens when there's a shadow? All right, the light becomes blocked out by an object, right? So our big question in this activity is, are all shadows black since it's blocking out light? Or can you have shadows be in different colors? And so we're going to go back to the back. I'm going to let each of you group leaders take your group to one of the stations at the back. We already have our established our rubric for your grade on this activity. So take your groups to the back. The activities instructions are back there, as well as the lights and all the materials that you would need. So go ahead and go to each one of the stations, and then we'll take it from there.
And then plug in the power strip. for the best result, put the green bulb between the red and blue. So that turn on lights so that they all shine on the white screen.
Okay. Should we put it closer? I feel like we should
Yeah,
put it
put it a
closer.
little closer.
Okay, if,
Yeah,
Close to the
yeah.
Whoa! That's so
Alright.
cool.
It's yellow, magenta, and cyan.
Yeah,
It's
the
yellow,
same.
magenta, and cyan. That's so cool.
Now, which light bulb do we want to
Just-
unscrew?
Oh, the red.
Let's unscrew that first. That's so cool.
They're still cyan.
so what happened?
At first, all three of the colors, magenta, cyan, and yellow, were displayed, but we took out the red light, and so now it's just
Cyan and blue.
Okay, it's, okay, so
Which one do you want?
let's think about
Is that-
why.
Which one?
Well, first of all, so now you only have two shadows, right? Why do you think you only have two shadows
Because
now?
there's only two light bulbs.
Okay,
And the light's only coming from two different angles.
okay, all right, because the two lights are coming from two different angles, and light travels in a straight line, right? So, can you figure out which one of those shadows are from each of those lights?
This one is
Turn off more than one at a time if you need to.
So if we turn off the blue,
Okay,
then
turn off the blue. And we lost that one, so that one's the blue.
and now it's
Now it's
black.
black.
Okay, why is it black?
Because
have anything.
because it's been everything's been
Absorbed.
absorbed.
It's been absorbed.
Well, it's the pencil is the pencil's absorbing it all, and what's going behind it?
The reflection.
No,
Nothing, no reflection.
no light. So basically, all of the light's being blocked, right? Will that same thing happen if you turn off the green and turn on the blue?
Okay, which one is?
It should happen.
Take out the blue now.
Yes.
Yes, it
Okay.
did. That's really cool.
And it's angled because it's going
Yeah.
straight.
Mm-hmm.
Make a prediction. How many shadows do you think there'll be if you turned off two of them at one time?
Just one?
Okay, and what color do you think it'd be?
Well, if we took out the red one, it would be black.
Alright,
It's
go,
just-
go back.
Okay, because the pencil would be.
Does it matter what color the pencil is? Or is that just blocking the light?
It's just blocking it. That's a good question, because you probably see the color of the pencil differently depending on which bulbs are on, right? And that's based on what's reflecting back. But the color of the shadow has nothing to do with what the pencil's reflecting, just the light that's.
They are mixing.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
They're mixing.
Good observation.
Go back a little more that way.
Because it's
Like a regular
Yes,
shadow.
ma'am.
We figured out that they'll mix.
They'll mix.
We took the light and moved it back, and if you move it far enough back, they'll mix.
Ah, good observation. What difference is that making?
The light traveling in a straight line at that angle is running together.
Okay,
And then can we look and see what if the different paper will change it? If it'll,
sure.
can we put this back there?
Oh, yeah,
Oh, they changed.
Look at the shadow of the paper when you have it sort of on it.
Oh, yeah, look.
Look at your arm.
I look at my arm.
Where's
That's so cool.
Back over there.
Whoa.
That's like black.
It's like everything changes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's being absorbed.
Yeah, because of my jacket.
Okay, so they turn green whenever the yellow is
But the
mixed.
yellow's like almost disappearing.
And see, it's turning black down there.
Yeah, it's turning black down here.
Right, at
where
the
they're all
bottom.
three absorbing.
That's super cool.
Does it make sense that there's a little bit of white light in this room? So there's no way we can completely get rid of all of the white light, and that's why your colors aren't looking exact. Does that make sense? Okay, so now you've got green being blocked out here, so you see it as blue. And this, you would expect when the blue is blocked out, that it would be green. But because you have a little bit of the other colors mixed, you don't see a true green there. Does that make sense? okay? But when they're all going equally, remember how we talked about that all colors are different amounts of each of those? So it was a little off because you still have a little bit of white light in here. But when you get them all going equally, it doesn't matter about the white light, so that way you actually see the three. And what did you call those? What are these three colors you were asking me about a while ago?
Secondary colors.
The secondary colors, because this one is a mixture of which two?
Blue and green.
And this, so which one's blocked?
Red.
Red, and you can make a straight line between there, can't you? Okay, this one is a mixture of
Blue.
so what is blocked?
Green.
And this one is a mixture of?
Green and red.
Alright, red and green, so it's where the blue is blocked, okay? Good job. Which one of these is being blocked? By where you see this shadow, which color light are you seeing?
Seeing the red.
Okay, so so the green is blocked, okay? And over here, which one are you seeing?
Green lights, red lights.
Because the red is blocked,
Say where you like.
okay? What happens if you turn one of those out?
Colors right here. This one way from there to get started.
You can just unscrew. It's out very hot. Why does it become black then?
This is blocking the only light that's available.
Okay. Okay, so when you've only got two colors like this, they're not the true secondary colors because there's a little bit of white light in this room. There's no way of completely getting rid of that white light. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Who wants to describe what you saw and why you think you saw it?
Well, there was one pencil standing up, but there were three shadows on the paper.
Okay.
Different colors.
So we have a couple of issues going here. One is the three shadows. What caused the three shadows?
The angles of the lights.
The different angles of the light. You guys pulled your lights farther away. What happened to the shadows as it went farther away? All right, they went closer and closer to each other. Okay. If you could have gotten farther, I was trying to find an extension cord, but if you could have gotten even farther, what would it eventually done? One black shadow. Okay, which leads us to why the three shadows were three different colors. Who would like to address that? Okay, if you have three lights, each shadow is doing what to one of those? Blocking it out. Okay, so the shadow end up being a mixture of what then?
The other two colors that weren't being blocked
The
out.
two colors that were left on. And so with each one, depending on which one's being blocked out, you can see them. And it's easier to see that when you turn one or the other off, right? Because when you turn one off, then what happened to one of the shadows? It would go away because you no longer had the angle at which that particular shadow was in, no light was being blocked by it. Okay? All right, very good. Is there anything else anybody would like to add before we close?
Did the adding of color behind it, does that change anything with their group?
It changed a lot. Like all of our colors were kind of distorted by.
So when y'all put colored paper instead of the white in the back, the colors changed. Who wants to come up with a reason that would happen?
Because it reflects.
And absorbs different colors based on what color the paper is.
Because this
Okay.
paper's white. But
Okay, very good. So the white background's doing what?
reflects
Reflects everything.
All right, it's reflecting all of the light that's shining on it, but the colored paper is only reflecting whatever it normally reflects. And so it's not going to reflect anything that's not there, is it?
Like we did a yellow paper and it reflected red and green.
Okay,
It absorbed the blue. Like the
Awesome.
blue's not even there, so.
cool. So you couldn't see the blue. Oh, you had a yellow paper, and when the blue light was on, there was no shadow there.
It was
Ah,
really cool.
because it was absorbing that blue light. That's awesome. Awesome. Okay, y'all did a really good job today.